She's a prime example of cringe. And not even in an endearing weeb cringe way. This is just hardcore mega cringe.
What's good, scrappers? Mugiro back here once again, this time explaining how I ended up in a Rev Says Desu video with my Oshi. There's a lot to discuss, so let's get right into the video.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So it's not every day that we have a trilogy on this series. I have covered countless examples of VTuber-related drama, but it's pretty rare that we get a 3-part series, but that's exactly what we have today. So another massive day for the unemployed. So this whole situation involves a VTuber by the name of Nitha, who has been virtue signaling about no words on the internet, which led to a multi-day crash out when they received criticism. And of course, when I made my 2 videos talking about them, the crash outs got even worse. In fact, after my most previous video, they decided to go on Twitter and
there I
make this
am,
post
boys.
in response to...
There I am. I thought that I was gonna have to wait until a lot further into the video to see it, but Rev decided to throw this pretty early on into the video, and let me tell you, this was a shock. Did not expect to see this at all, but yeah, here we are. So, Ma, I made it into a video with the funny cat. All right. Let's go ahead and see further into the video.
2 people criticizing them, basically saying that all of you, yes you, are a part of a deranged hate cult and apparently only criticize people like Nitha because of reasons like this, which seems not so woke of this supposedly progressive individual. And to follow that up, they wrote an entire light novel talking about all these things going on in the VTubing scene, including these supposed hate raids people like myself are conducting against this individual. Yeah, you guys must have missed the memo on that. I know I scheduled a hate raid, as I always do on this channel apparently. But yeah, that's their claim, and they're not handling the second video very well. But this is the first video I uploaded where I was talking about a very interesting situation, a beef between Nitha and another VTuber by the name of Nani. So Nitha here decided to weigh in on a controversy involving some league drama where a VTuber was saying no words like the dreaded R slur, where Nitha said people like that should be deplatformed, and also said that they're putting on a baby voice and that they're pedo baiting. We have Nani here, who had a very different response to this drama.
There we are.
As you can see, they don't seem to have a problem with that word. But of course, Nani would later post an appreciation post for her stream, and Nitha would jump in the replies and pick a fight, saying, have you ever thought about shutting the F up? And then we got this epic voice memo directed towards Nani and her community.
Now, I know some slur slinging.
This
is not on a moral high ground, pretending to be better than me because I'm an adult and I do not say for work content. Honey, you say slurs. You're racist, you're homophobic, you say...
Yeah, there's the audio. For those who haven't heard it yet, you say slurs. You say slurs. Yeah, well, guess what? I say slurs too. And so do a lot of people, honey. So do a lot of people. Because we're not afraid of it anymore. We don't care. You trying to call us misogynistic, homophobic, racist, bigots? It don't matter no more. You've spewed these words enough that they've lost all weight and all meaning. So now we can freely use the words that we want to use and not feel any pressure or any judgment for doing so. This audio is a fucking trip, man.
Derogatory slurs for attention with a lolly model to be pedo bait. Honey, there is no comparison. You've lost. And all of these chronically
I don't know
online
about that.
edgelord incels are going to come white knight you when they see these posts. But just remember one thing. You know who your target audience is. You got them already.
Oh yeah,
We
that's
both know
a
what you're
thing.
doing.
Apparently I'm an
Talking like
incel.
this in your voice, so people watch me and find me interesting. Retard.
Really, you got a hell of a personality there. I'm really impressed.
Now, of course, I featured
the
all that
fucking-
cringe
the
and
fake-ass
more in
evil
my
laugh
first
at the
video,
end.
but of course, Nitha was not a big fan, tagging me on Twitter in this post, saying how I validated her, you're welcome, and said that my bigoted hate cult has been sent to dogpile her, and that's very funny, and, well, she would send more voice memos like this one, and I have to say, it was even more cringe than the first one.
This is an outrage. She's supposed to protect her tweets. We want to gang up on her. Believe it. I will be the next Grand Hokage.
my
I'm so
God.
mad I'm Arthur fisting. I want her to feel like a whore. She needs to feel like a whore. We're racist, but we want her to be sad and mute her account so we win. Yeah, hate will
Yeah.
prevail.
Yeah, fucking tell me about it. This
You
is
guys want any
cringe as
more
fuck.
villainous monologues? I got a bunch for you.
But after her villain monologue, she decided to flex her viewers, and not only
She's going full tilt cringe and letting everybody see it. But to be fair, she's already letting people see her holes, so is it really that much of a surprise? She really sat there, filmed it, and posted it, never once thinking maybe I should do that over. Yeah, I mean, that's the crazy part. She never once had a thought that she may regret any of this. And now she's in the damage control phase and getting rid of a bunch of her posts and tweets. Because now she's not getting any of the support that she was hoping that she would get. Nobody came to white knight her. This is where she gets into talking about number shaming Nani for only having 78 CCV, which, by the way, fun fact, as somebody who has tuned in to Nani's streams, the 78 CCV, that's pulling a lower end number out of Nani's streams during the portion she decided to hate watch. A lot of the time, Nani will end up somewhere between with 100 to 150 viewers, which, to be frank, is extremely impressive for somebody who only debuted in the last 10 months. She hasn't even been streaming for a year, and in her first 6 months, she hit Twitch partner and YouTube partner. She has been on a massive fucking tear. Nitha has literally no actual perspective or idea what that means in terms of a VTuber that does not post and show whole. Nani has been blowing stuff out of the water at the end of the day without having to delve into any sort of adult content and sticking to the tried and true ways of what VTubing was founded on. Trying to viewer shame someone like Nani, who is by all metrics still very successful in what she's accomplished for less than a year in VTubing, Nitha has no grasp and no understanding on what it means to succeed as a VTuber. And the thing is that a lot of these women who post their OnlyFans and Fanslies while kind of double agenting as VTubers, many of them will never really understand that because, you know, they're starting off with a big boost to their numbers because they're taking a very easy way out to get male viewership. And that's just kind of the truth ultimately of it. There will be plenty of men that will show up for streams that have adult content like that. And it is a very easy way in order to boost your numbers. Nani is taking a much harder path and has been succeeding tremendously at it. So, I don't know. My personal opinion is that I just think that people who do adult content using VTuber models and showing their holes, who get their viewers, they have no actual metric idea of what it means to be a VTuber that doesn't do any of that and pops off. All right, let's see what Rev kind of goes into with this number stuff.
Flex her viewers, which is already really cringe, but she decided to view shame Nani for only getting 78 total viewers on her recent stream, which, by the way, I think is a great number for a VTuber that's only been around for about a year. It is a great number,
but once again, course, it's misconstrued.
In my post dedicated to me, you see there's now hidden replies, where this user says she's deleting tweets, and of course that got hidden as well. And that's true because she is deleting tweets. You can see from my previous video, this was one of the many examples of her flexing her numbers on social media to validate herself, and that has been deleted. Now, of course, the crash outs would continue, and she would make this post talking about how we're just balls of energy existing on a floating rock in space, and that we should all just do what we love and leave each other alone. Of course, you can do that as long as you're not saying no words on the internet or you have a high pitch.
Yeah, let's go ahead and leave everybody else alone. But I'm only going to, go out and make these kinds of comments once I've already gotten a bunch of backlash and been called out on my bullshit. It's obvious to see what she's doing here. She's trying her best to save face, because if you look at what's going on here, she's got 1,500 views on the post with only 23 likes and 8 comments. She is not getting the support that she thought that she was going to get for any of this. Her posts are just her actual posts, not the replies that she's posting to other people like Nani and larger creators, are barely getting any hits on them in terms of people resonating with what she has to say. And it's because she's trying to save face after getting all of this backlash that she didn't think she was going to get, because she thought she cooked. In fact, in one of her own words, I think, for a different post, something about that she ate or somebody ate or whatever. I don't know. She uses a bunch of fucking TikTok speak or whatever in here. And honestly, a lot of it is pretty super cringe. Just like most of her audio videos that she posted. She is a prime example of cringe, and not even in an endearing weeb cringe way. This is just hardcore mega cringe. All right.
Pitch voice, which apparently makes you predator bait. But anyways, people in the replies pointed out something that I missed, and thank you for the clarification. They said she pulled the Ludwig. We are all just balls of dust in space. I totally forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me of that moment.
That
so
thing that
her
Ludwig
copying
did? I don't keep up with him, so.
Is very funny stuff. But of course, I made my second video, and that was a comment to it, where I talked about the further crash outs, and well, it appears that Nitha was not a fan of that video as well. So then she made this heart-wrenching soliloquy, and I'm going to read it with you guys. It's worth it, trust me. But let's get to it.
Just look at it.
Thousands of hate accounts descended upon my page for...
Look at the fucking wall of text. Like, when Rev scrolled down, let me Let me back it up a little bit.
Very funny stuff. But of course, I made my second video, and that was a comment to it, where I talked about the further crash outs, and well, it appears that Nitha was not a fan of that video as well. So then she made this
just
heart-wrenching soliloquy.
Look at that. It goes on forever. She did that on my post as well, and left a huge, gigantic wall of fucking text. And it's like, girl, we ain't got time to read all that. We got lives and shit. No need to write out this huge fucking diatribe. Just... It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And this might be one of the biggest schizos that I have seen on Twitter since I started engaging with people on there. It's wild. I can't think of another time I've seen somebody this mentally ill.
And I'm going to read it with you guys. It's worth it. Trust me. But let's get to it. Thousands of hate accounts descended upon my page for the last week, and one of the biggest right-wing grifters in the VTubing community made a YouTube video about me warping the situation, pulling things out of context to fit his narrative, because I called a VTuber they all follow who openly uses racial, homophobic, transphobic, and ableist slurs.
So, let's start with something right off the bat here that debunks a little bit of this. Thousands of hate accounts descended on my page over the last week. You viewer shamed Nani for saying that she barely gets any sort of people showing up for her streams, and yet she's getting a bunch of her people to come and hate on your posts, which we've seen and have records of to know that no one is actually interacting with the post that you make on your page. It's all interaction that's happening from you going out of your way and talking on other people's posts and starting shit. Yeah, nice try. That's a fucking joke. I can't with these people. They constantly try to craft a narrative in their heads, and they think that people will buy it. And it's all so easily debunked. It doesn't take that much effort and thought to be able to take a quick look and be able to debunk everything that they claim. She's just... This is why I said that I think this may be the biggest schizo that I've ever run into. Because all this here, this is too much.
Ah yes, I'm the big right-wing grifter. Now, of course, I would love for Nitha to provide any proof that I'm a grifter. And by the way, grifter doesn't mean someone you dislike on the internet. It means someone who's faking their beliefs publicly for monetary gain. I would love for you to show me how I'm faking my beliefs for monetary gain in my video. And I would also love, by the way, for you to prove that I'm pulling things out of context when I'm reading your tweets. I'm basically reading every tweet you're providing. The context makes you look bad. That's not on me. That's on you. But let's continue.
Yeah,
they could not defend what she said.
Accountability for anything.
Didn't need defending. So they did what people like this always do when the person criticizing them is a woman. They searched my page for something sexual and started calling me a schmore. I never did that. I mean, you're lumping me in this conversation. I never said that whatsoever. The only thing that I really commented on, the fact that you claimed you don't show your body for content. Meanwhile, you're a self-described lewd tuber with adult content, including content on the hub, which, by the way, I will reiterate, The fact that you're still on that platform is disgusting. The Hub had to delete 95% of its content because they're being pressed, because basically the entire platform had a epidemic with illegal content, and it was so prevalent they had to basically nuke the entire site's content in order to get rid of the enormous amount of illegal material. Anyone still operating there, I'm side-eyeing you. Yep, I'm side-eyeing you for supporting a platform like that. But they continue saying,
and it's
that
not
is
my
genuinely
thing
the
personally
entire
either.
argument. The fact that the VTuber herself is a woman makes her behavior even more embarrassing.
Being on the
Her
Hub
entire persona
itself,
appears to revolve around
wild.
platforming for male approval, says the woman who sells adult content. Guess who is your primary audience? Men. Anyways, attacking other women, parroting anti-woman talking points, saying slurs to seem edgy, and carefully feeding her audience whatever she knows will make them cheer. She wants to shame me for supposedly appealing to men, while her entire brand is built around being a woman who reassures misogynistic men that their contempt for other women is justified. At least I'm honest about what I sell. She is selling male validation back to men while pretending it's her personality. Imagine organizing a hate raid to defend someone who casually uses slurs, then convincing yourself that you have reclaimed the moral high ground because the woman who criticized him shows her breast online. So she is implying that I guess Nani and myself were conducting hate raids. I know you guys were like, wait, I missed the memo. When did that hate raid happen?
I
it never happens.
missed the memo
In fact,
too.
I always say,
I didn't know there was
don't
a
go to
hate
posts
raid.
like this. You're here for entertainment. Look at these posts. Don't give them extra attention by going to their page. I can't control what you do, but that's just my suggestion. And honestly, given the fact that her posts have zero traction, nobody's going there in the first place, but apparently we're...
Because Rev is right. No one is going to her page and her actual posts. They're all commenting on stuff, like I said earlier, that she decided to reply to and jump into through starting this whole beef. And now she's hiding stuff and removing comments because she wasn't prepared for any of this. She bit off far more than she can chew. And honestly, at this point, I'm very surprised whenever people react the way that they do in Twitter drama, where they lock replies and block and do all of this other stuff, because it's just like, you do realize that it's only adding fuel to the fire. It's only going to make things worse for you. So why would you do that? But some people never learn. You know, there have been a ton of VTubers that have been covered that have done that, and every time it never works out and never pans out for them. But new VTubers will continue to do it anyway. I have no idea what it is, but they're not really doing themselves any favors.
Conducting organized hate raids on this perpetual victim. But they continue on saying schmore is a gendered insult designed to reduce a woman to her sexuality so nobody has to engage with what she actually said. Men consume adult content, follow half-naked women, brag about sex, and then talk about women's bodies constantly. The outrage suddenly appears when a woman controls her own sexuality, profits from it, and still has the confidence to speak. Oh, everyone's mad because she's a very independent, strong, outspoken woman, of course.
No, everyone's
she continues
mad
on saying
because
they
you're
are trying to
bitch.
place consensual adult content on the same moral level as racism, homophobia, transphobia, ableism, dead naming, and coordinated harassment, because that is the only way they can avoid admitting how vile their own behavior is. Now, of course, she can't point out any examples of the stuff she's listing off here, but I guess this whole question is up to you, whether what she's doing is equal, worse, or better than the things she's accusing, I guess, all of her detractors of doing. But she continues on saying, I show my body to consenting adults. They use people's race, sexuality, gender identity, and disabilities as targets for humiliation. kind of like how you're humiliating me for being a Christian and like going after my followers for supposedly being the same, which has nothing to do with any of the arguments that are coming up in these videos. So, bit hypocritical,
which
but
is a fair
anyways,
and valid point.
they continue on, and somehow nearly every account looks exactly the same. Christian in the bio, an American flag beside the name, Donald Trump plastered across the profile, and a timeline full of slurs, cruelty, and obsessive harassment. The irony writes itself. So, of course, they say, don't use people's races, identities, or anything like that for a humiliation target, and then they immediately point out people's identities and tries to mock it. Amazing. And somehow it's ironic. I don't really understand how it's ironic, but anyways. They continue on saying, they seem to believe that putting a cross in their bio automatically cleanses whatever hatred comes underneath it. Their faith is reduced to branding, their patriotism to decoration, and their actual behavior contradicts every moral virtue they claim to represent. Seems like projection. I don't know where this is coming from. But then they say, I spend my time and money helping animals, supporting causes I care about, and trying to contribute something positive to the world. These people spend theirs defending bigotry, harassing strangers, and typing schmore repeatedly as though the 800th person to say it has finally constructed an argument. Guys, listen. You're all just mindless bigots doing nothing for the world. Have you considered that Nitha is out there helping
mindless
animals?
bigots.
I'm sorry, this is...
Yeah, that's
the levels of desperation and the need for validation is off the charts. I've never seen anything like this
very
before.
Funny that
they
we
continue on saying
don't do any
these people
good
follow each
or
other because they need the
animals or
reassurance.
like that
they need
at all.
a crowd around them
We can't
repeating
do
the
any
same
good in the
hateful
world.
opinions, so they never have to sit alone with what those opinions say about them. The group makes hate feel normal, removes any sense of accountability, and gives them permission to keep behaving the exact same way. As long as there's enough people liking the post, laughing at the slur, or joining the harassment, they can convince themselves they are part of a movement instead of a collection of deeply insecure people enabling one another. The mob is what makes them feel safe. They tried to silence me and only grew more furious that they couldn't. I will always stand up for what's right. Always. Well, first of all, again, they keep accusing people like me of trying to silence them. I do not want to silence you. Like, listen, if there's one takeaway you can get from this night.
Here's the thing. Not once did anybody ever try to silence Nitha. No one ever said that she couldn't voice her opinion. Fact of the matter is that she thinks that people are trying to silence her because she was not ready to come in to the battleground that is Twitter, because she expected she was going to get a nice safe space of people who were going to support her through whatever opposing opinions that may be thrown at her. But I've got a newsflash. You are going to get dissenting and different opinions on Twitter. It just is how it is. It is a PvP server, pretty much the end of the day. And if you start something, be prepared to get some backlash. Be prepared for people to come at you for saying dumb and stupid shit. Like, it's not a hug box. It's not a safe space. People are on Twitter who have a bunch of different ideas and opinions. You have to accept that. There's plenty of people that are on Twitter that I've disagreed with, that I've argued with, and have different opinions and beliefs from me. I think there's probably even people within some of the communities that I involve myself with that have slightly different opinions from me. Part of being human. Being human is being different. Every single person has a little something about them that is different from somebody else. So be prepared when you go on and enter the Twitter space. to have that happen, to have the potential that you're going to run into people who have a different opinion of you. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say.
Nitha, I do not want to silence you. I want you to keep tweeting. In fact, I'm incredibly disappointed you didn't crash out even harder. In fact, I am hoping you continue. This series is a lot of fun, so I am in no way
at this point,
trying to
it's pretty
silence
much
you.
an
In fact,
infinite
it is your
content
right
glitch.
to make these ridiculous and goofy posts, and I enjoy them. Just not the way you expect, or the way you intended. But all of this up here about a lack of accountability, and also that these people are insecure, is just pure and utter projection, and also rough.
Yeah.
27 likes. Like, is this your big moment? 27 likes on Twitter? You want to shame people for numbers? You're writing this entire novel for 27 likes while locking the replies, and of course the quotes are saying this: ain't nobody got time to read all that BS, with this Duke Nukem meme.
We ain't reading
And then
all
you
of
can
that.
see Trigger Point saying should have
we're gonna
made
let Rev
this a
summarize
voice
all of it.
message. Ain't nobody reading all of that. That's the number one thing that disappointed me about this response. No voice memo. I asked you in your follow-up crash out to give me another voice memo. You didn't do that.
The
I'm
voice
disappointed,
memos,
but the
admittedly,
light novels
despite
were great,
being cringe, do make
that's
for
what
good
we're rolling with
entertainment.
today. And then this user says, Nani hit you real good, huh? Oh, and by the way, why you lying? And then Nitha responded to that post saying, nah, she got rocked, referring to Nani. Reposted my comment to try to get her thousands of hate cult members that follow her for being a bigot to dogpile on me and do her dirty work for her. The real winner is the person with 10 times her viewership. Oh my gosh, she is flexing the viewership again. Multiple days of flexing viewership while calling other people insecure is amazing. But she continues on saying she has thousands of hateful cult members that follow her on here, but a whopping 70 people tune in to watch her. That's a big L. You thought you ate, though. Again, the TikTokification of the...
Yeah, that's that was the TikTok comment thing or whatever that I thought I remembered. She does a lot of that. She does a lot of TikTok speak, but no. I'm sorry, you're the one that got rocked. Nani did not get rocked whatsoever in all of this. In fact, Nani has come out of all of this with more love and support than anything. So this whole week out that Nitha had really just ended up backfiring and only making Nani come out of things looking better and bigger. And I mean, Nitha, you're donezo. No one's coming to support you. You've made a fool of yourself. You are the 3-ring circus of the week. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Their vocabulary is just painful, but it makes a lot of sense given the way they're behaving. But again, view shaming. You know what? Again, for someone who just started VTubing about a year ago, 70 viewers is an amazing accomplishment without having to dip into adult content, which is something worth mentioning in this context. But
it is.
They're not done. So this
There we
user
are.
clarifies that there is no hate raid. And Nitha,
there we are, boys and girls. Finally get to have Rev cover us towards the tail end here of the video. Yeah. So this was my post that I had made, which her tweet is now unavailable, but the screenshot that he took that we were looking at about the hate raids supposedly that were being conducted, this is my reply that I had posted before I went to bed. There was no hate raid. No one organized anything against you, which is true, because Nani reposting and showing Nitha's stupidity for people to laugh at is not organizing anything. Because a lot of times people do not go and interact on people's posts from that. A lot of times we just sit, point, and laugh at the post and move on about our day. So we can also see that from Nitha's posts on her own profile that no one's coming and viewing her shit. So the idea that a hate raid was organized it's just straight up nonsense. And yeah, people simply saw you being a retard and decided to call you out on it, which she was indeed being a retard. And people called her out on it. Not on her own posts, but through quoting, through her interactions that she had with other people, thinking that she cooked on what she was saying. Lost the first round, are you delusional? You've won nothing except being the laughingstock of the week, which is true. I mean, where's the lie in that? We didn't lose anything. We didn't win, per se, anything. I mean, you could say in a way that we're winning now, because, you know, we're getting a heck of a lot of content out of this, but it's a bunch of delusion thinking that this is some contest or whatever to win or lose. And at the end of the day, you know, how did we lose when Nani is going to become bigger and better than ever, and you got me into a video? I would not have, I think, ever been hosted or cameoed into a Rev Says Desu video if it weren't for Nitha popping off and feeling a need to spurg out as much as she did. But here we are, you know, little old me, who's barely just had the opportunity to start streaming, and I'm already in a Rev video. Look at that. I don't know about you, but I would consider that a pretty big win. Also, yes, being a whore is pretty disgusting, which, my personal opinion, I think it is. I'm not really a fan of women that whore themselves out and have an OnlyFans and a Fansly. It does not make you appealing. It does not make me interested in you from both a perspective of I'm not interested in your content, and I also would not want to ever date you. So yeah, being a whore, my personal opinion, pretty disgusting. Not a fan. And it's not quite the empowerment you think that it is, because it's not empowering to be a whore. Because at the end of the day, what are you gonna do when you're done and ready to stop whoring yourself out? Huh? You think about that? Have you thought about the long-term consequences of your actions? No, you probably haven't. Because there's a lot of failure to do that. Too many OnlyFans and Fansly women do not think about the consequences of their actions. And it always shows when they end up getting into their 30s and regretting a lot of what they did. Down below, though, I'm pretty sure that this got deleted as well. I didn't even actually see this at first because she had already blocked me. And it took some time to be able to find the wall of text post that she made in response that I never got to reply to or anything. But this one here, I happened to find because of the video. And it was, I think you're just reposting this so that you can suck Rev's dick and end up on another one of his deranged hate cult YouTube videos. I never have been in a Rev video, for starters. This is the first time, but I didn't repost what I did for any sort of purposeful intent other than I found your crash out to be absolutely ridiculous. And being a public server, I have the ability to tweet what I want. I didn't think that this was going to end up in a Rev video. I figured that this was just going to, be something that, maybe a few people would see, point and laugh, and that's about it. I didn't think it was going to grow to be this whatsoever. So you perpetuated your own reality that you constructed. I'm sorry, but this may not have even happened if she didn't post that comment. Because listen to what Rev says.
Person responds by saying, I think you're just reposting this so that you can blank Rev's blank and end up in another one of his deranged hate cult YouTube videos. Well, they did end up in the video, and so did you. And again...
And we ended up in there, most likely, because Rev saw that. Because Rev saw that specific reply, so...
Not very woke of you. This seems a bit homophobic, and also weird. Why are you making completely out of left field sexual comments about me and my viewers? Never did the same for you. But why are you doing it to me? I don't appreciate it, I don't like it, it's weird, and also very ironic coming from a so-called progressive person, but they weren't done. They double replied, ladies and gentlemen, adding on another light novel, saying they're a part of a hate group, and it's all orchestrated. And
too much text.
I ain't reading all that
through.
Like, I'm sorry.
I'm not reading.
Nobody's got time for this probably Chat GPT generated rant here. This light novel. Nobody's got time for that. It's absolutely exhausting. But in response to getting dunked on in their quotes, because the quotes were the only place people could reply because they locked the replies, Nitha makes a follow-up post saying, me waking up, seeing all the reposts and comments from the triggered hate cult, absolutely enraging over my last post, stalking my profile all night, furious they couldn't silence me still while I slept peacefully. Gee, for people that supposedly hate cancel culture, you sure are trying. Failing, but you're trying. A bunch of racist, homophobic, ableist, misogynistic, can't cancel someone else. Who do you think is gonna listen to you? I love how angry it makes you when I remove your ability to reply to my posts. I love knowing that a bunch of you are gonna come here and see this post and get pissed all over again because you can't stop obsessing over me. Here this person goes again about cancel culture and people trying to silence them. Nobody is doing that. Literally nobody's doing that. In fact, the only person silencing you is you, because you're limiting the replies in all of your posts. So if there's any sort of like stranglehold on free speech here, it's you. You're self-censoring by preventing people from replying directly in the comments, and now they have to quote. Like, nobody's mad about this. It just shows that you're insecure about your points, and it just serves as another free dunk. And of course, you can see Nani has just continued, right? She's been collecting lots of W's, a lot of people discovering how based she is. And let's see her latest post. Just want to say thank you to everyone that has supported me the last few days. Maybe you guys aren't so regarded after all. Now, what I'm going to do here is provide a link to her account, because if someone's going to view shame an individual like this who I think is doing some great stuff with their content, we will promote them. So I'll put a link to their Twitter, and then from there you can find all the other various links.
So I think that pretty much covers the entirety of the video. And Based Rev, thank you for, putting Nani's link in your video. I love seeing the ghost cat grow and getting bigger. So it's nice that he went ahead and did that. For my Oshi. I appreciate that a lot.
If you stayed until the end, thank you so much for watching. If you would, please consider dropping a like or subscribing to the channel if you enjoyed the video. And if you have something you'd like me to check out, feel free to leave a comment down below what you think I should react to next.